brother, we're not racist, or I'm not trying to be. You know, I have some flare-ups in traffic, but overall, I'm good. You know, I'm doing my best, man. I'm out here on the front lines of not trying to be, brother.
And in 1994, like 70 infected monkeys got out in our town, and they literally, the police came to YMCA summer camp and let the oldest kids leave to help them look for these monkeys, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I remember like guys, they had guys with like rebel flags in their truck. I'm like, it's not a racial thing, guys. These are fucking 70. These are chimpanzees and macaws that are loose around town. You know, this isn't a gang that's moved in. You know, but I remember me and a couple of other kids. I still remember having a wet bathing suit on, cornering a chimpanzee outside of a Kenny Rogers Roasters with a police officer and 3 other kids, like, rah, 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 you know, by this drive-through, and this fat elf of a woman honking at us like we're ruining her, you know, dream shake she's buying or whatever, and her fucking cornbread while we're trying to save our town from a who knows what this monkey had.
From a maybe Planet of the Apes.
Wigger went to our school. I told you guys that before. The first Wigger, this kid, Brian St. Pierre, went to our school, and he, they'd never seen it before, you know, and they thought he was mentally handicapped. They put him in, they made him eat the third lunch. You know, the third lunch, a special lunch where those kids are in there. You know, they make some of their own food and then they eat it. You know, to make them have a talent. And, and he was in there, dude, this Wigger. So you'd have like, you know, you have like kids who really had mental illnesses and, you know, everything, all the DS and everything. And then you'd have Brian St. Pierre wearing a Charlotte Hornets pullover, dribbling an invisible basketball all day, bro. Just posting up mental kids in the lunch line, bro. They'd never seen it. They thought he was mentally handicapped just because he wanted to, you know, play with the brothers.
What are the words, can you reveal what are some of the things that women can say to direct you in different ways?
Yeah, higher, lower, more pressure, less pressure. Can you go a little faster, please? Can you go a little slower, please? To the right, you know, to the left. Now slide. Now slide. No. And that was a joke I did use one time in the thing, and it got a couple people to laugh. And one lady even farted a couple people over when I did. I realized yesterday, how weird is this? Tell me if this is racist or not, dude. Because you're the closest thing. You're the closest thing we had to a black guest in a while, dude. Is the U.S. postal system basically just like giving mail to a black guy and hoping it gets where it's supposed to go? That's what I feel like, bro.
Do you like the cooking shows?
I don't watch any of that.
Yeah.
That's more for women, I think.
Okay.
I don't watch somebody cook while I'm laying there hungry, bro. What is this, Guantanamo Bay?
You can be fed and watch it.
Yeah, but still, it just seems outlandish, bro. I'm not that lazy.
Okay.
And then after that, they had a comedy room near me. This gentleman had half a limb. And he was...
Which limb?
He was missing part of his leg, I think. Or he said he was. So he could have been faking it.
CGI or something?
I don't know what his name was. I mean, it was a CGI. It was a white dude.
Okay, yeah.
I could see you having a beautiful mullet, though. And I think you. Yeah, I really could, man. And I think it's time, man. I think it really would inspire you to feel like a different person. And make these guys do them, dude. Make these whites in here grow them big.
Have everyone, and even the fucking gooks in here too, right?
Huh?
Yeah, some of the gooks
I don't know who a
gook.
gook. I don't know who is a gook, but yeah.
Yeah.
No
It
idea.
came out smoothly, bro. Yeah, very good. It's like you've said that word before, bro.
I mean, I've said it. I just don't know who it's at. That's the problem, dude. That's not the problem. That's really the benefit, you know.
But I'll tell you why the mullet, bro, because you know, my people. I don't know if you know my people, but you know, I don't know who
Who's
the
Stevie?
Yeah, my brother Steve, yeah, and also a billion other people, bro.
Oh, damn. Huh?
Yeah, that's a lot of people, bro. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people sleeping in the airport when I'm there.
But
So,
before Bieber, some fool in China or whatever said, "This mushroom bull haircut, everybody gonna wear these, right?" And it was some sort of government law or something. So now everyone's got a bowl on their hand, click, 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 right? And they all look like ghetto fucking Beatles or whatever, right?
Where at?
In China, in Asia, wherever, bro. You never seen those haircuts?
What?
It's only when the K-pop stars started going crazy with the rooster hairs, when they tried to change it, you know?
You should testify this in the impeachment hearings. This makes no sense. It would fit right in, bro.
On C-SPAN?
What do you think, babe? You think
you gotta
mullet,
go
right?
on C-SPAN, dude.
Yeah, I think either go mullet or just commit to your roots.
Yeah, dude, you look like Yoko No, bro. You gotta do something, dude.
Bro, I never even call Yoko No, bro.
Bro, you gotta do a Last of the Mohicans spoof, dude. It's just you in the woods, bro, looking for something.
I got a brother too, and he was hard to love. Now he's a little easier to love.
You guys fight?
No.
Oh, okay.
One of us hit the other one with a chair once when we were young.
Oh, really? What was that over?
I don't know. One of us was wearing a disguise, so I don't remember who was who.
Oh.
But it was violent. It was like one of the most violent things that ever happened to me.
Wait,
and it was a nice chair. It was an antique.
People were throwing rocks at us. There was this kid's. Well, there was this one kid definitely, and something was wrong with him. I mean, nothing's wrong with him by our standards. Something's not, God didn't put him down here at 100%. You know what I'm saying, if you will. And but him and some other kids were throwing.
Charged.
It might not have been rocks. It might have been shale stone, but it was still hard enough, dude. It's hard to when people are throwing rocks at you, dude. It's like the Middle East. You know?
You in a? Yeah.
It's like the Gaza Strip.
For a while when I was
I tried to commit suicide. I tried to OD on a bottle of Theragram M. You know those
What is
vitamins?
that? Those vitamins?
Yeah, I tried to OD on vitamins. When
And
I was
what'd you
8.
get? Just better?
I just fell asleep.
Damn. No.
What did you get better?
I'm just thinking like vitamins. It seemed like
I didn't have. They didn't have OxyContin.
you look Guatemalan, bro. You coming in?
Yeah, boy.
How dark you going, dog? I know you're trying to get the black.
As it gets,
Bro,
man.
you trying to get diversity on lock, bro.
I start firing all my minorities.
Yeah, dude. You
I got this covered, boys.
Yeah, you start wearing one of the Coming to America hats. I saw some guy in one of those today, dude.
Some people tell me I look like Ben Affleck. Some people tell me I look like Ben Stiller. There's a big difference.
You look like Ben Better. I know that.
Yeah, dude. So I
Sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
You look like somebody who is in performance enhancing drugs to swim. That's what you look like,
Dude, you look like Rhea Perlman.
Do I really?
You got Rhea Perlman hair.
She's talented.
She is, bro. Cheers was a good show. Sometimes I feel like CVS is my Cheers because I'm always getting STDs.
Always,
I
I wanted to talk about orgasmic meditation because I got into that for a while. I wanted to talk about some other things, but we're gonna have to do it at a different time because.
Do you know how to do OM?
I was in there.
You got in and
I was in. Yeah, I was in for like 6 months. Oh, dude, I got bit by a Bichon up in Topanga Canyon touching some lady. Yeah. And it was all sanctioned. This was sanctioned, by the commission or whatever. This was legal. Chris has a lot of money, bro.
He does.
Dude, I was somewhere with him, and I've said this before, where a table was uneven, and he took like $800 and folded it up and put it under the table to make it even. Just so he could enjoy his coffee. I think when a woman is 30, that you guys start to get that, that leaky faucet syndrome where they always want a plumber to be around. We're like, you know what I'm saying? The faucet's always asking for a plumber.
oh, my faucet is constantly a leaking.
I really feel like I grew up in the stray animal belt of Louisiana, and they don't really have this anymore because everybody has pets now. But they had a long time where there was just, I felt like thousands of strays running around. Like Joey Diaz, he got bit by animals. I got jumped by a bunch of cats on my birthday once, dude. I'm not even joking, dude. And one of them, I swear to God, some of them got me on the ground, and one of them came off of a rooftop from next door. I swear to God, I still remember a couple of them were getting me and looking back and seeing one come from something in the air. And they had tons of stray animals where I was from. You had to infuse that in everything you did, wherever you went, or if you were going to bike or play ball. Cats. And that'll make you feel like a little bitch, too. I mean, first of all, your dad's dying, and now there's cats.
My head because I would not date a single comic for the rest of my life. And that's a fact.
Look, I could get a new job. I could easily open up a poke shop.
Okay.
I could sell poke, man. Easily. Yep. Well, we did a bunch of mushrooms, and we didn't, I don't know, we weren't really in the race or anything, but at one point we took over a a table. Somebody had a table where they had all the cups of water, and we took it over right in the middle. And I'm just flying on mushrooms at this point, dude. I'm looking, the Lord's looking for me, and I'm looking for him. We're gonna meet up that afternoon. But and people were running by in this race. It's tens of thousands of people in this race. And when they get close, someone would try to get the water, and we'd be like, "No, it's for Asian people only." So you had so many people, and they're running. They have to keep going. There's a huge flow of people. They can't argue or discuss it. Right. You'd be like, "Oh, it's Asians only," and they're like, and they just keep on
passing out from dehydration a quarter mile down the road.
All these Irish people stacking up at the curb at the next turn, just boom, boom, and all Asian people were just so happy,
super
bro.
hydrated.
Oh yeah, just flying, bro. It was just so bizarre, though.
Such a great choice,
dude. We laughed for so long. We just sat there, and somebody had deserted their stand, bro. You know what I'm saying? This
got what Gilbert?
Yep.
He's my sidekick. He's
Jason Priestley, huh? He's the Jason Priestley of Siam.
Can you see it a little bit?
Yeah.
The Jason Priestley of Siam.
Well, dude. Look, bro, and the baptism, dude. I freaking still remember, dude. I remember taking a couple extra sips when I was under that water, bro.
You were guzzling.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm staying down there. Oh wow, Bobby met this girl probably online, because he doesn't go out and do anything. That's the only reason I thought that. Mm-hmm. I thought either that he must have met her online, or he got like I don't want to say like a Postmates or something, but he got a Postmates and you showed up. He got hella lucky off a burrito. Like, that's what I was thinking. And
whenever I see groups of black African American, what do you call it, black?
I say black friends or urban gentlemen.
Urban.
Or the first 48. That's what I say as well.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I was like, okay. I thought you were going to put me in a headlock. You making me bath salts.
Bath salts are... People die from them, though, huh?
Yeah. Well, we're going to do the right thing with the bath salts.
Okay, I'm just saying because...
Yeah, maybe she's trying to get rid of me.
Yeah, if somebody rolls up... Yeah.
I never thought about it. I'm going to call her.
Yeah, man, that's swimmer's myth, they call it.
That's it.
That's
some hardcore stuff.
It was just... But I remember at certain areas, they just had so many bees. They're like I want to say tens of thousands of bees.
Yeah.
And
but you guys were events canceled because of bees.
Oh, I would say events. I would say kickball games ended early.
No way.
I would say lunches ended early.
No way.
One kid, a bee went up his nose, and that was horrible.
Good.
And they had to get this is before I think they had the EpiPens or whatever.
Oh, so this kid was allergic too?
Yeah, or I don't know if he was allergic, but he was one of those kids who their skin was real clear looking,
Yeah. Yep.
Like one of those kind of premature baby kind of.
Translucent
Yeah,
guy,
that trans kid. Or lucent kid. I don't know what they call them.
Yeah, I think they're called lucents.
Yeah, one of those lucents, dude. So they got, For my mom, she would get mad that my dad wouldn't spank us. Of course, he's 76 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't really have the physical acumen to be out there swinging paddles. So she would make him chase us around the house, right? Which is so easy to get away from a 76-year-old. Alarmingly easy. So what we would do is we would go under the bed, and then my dad would like get a belt, and he would like get down to the floor. It would take him 30 seconds to get down onto the floor, right? We'd be under the bed like screaming like we were scared, but dying laughing. And then he would like stroll the belt under the bed, like try to swing it at us. And we would scream as if we'd been hit, even though we had not. We were literally covering our mouths to, like just with laughter, We had to pretend like we were getting spanked. So my mom in the next room would be like, "Oh, they're getting spanked," and then she would cut him some slack, Close. Dude, I used to have those buzzer underwear, bro. They put these underwear on you when the urine would hit them, a buzzer would go off, right?
Oh my God.
I'm not joking. Look them up online. This ain't no joke, bro. So I went to my grandparents. My mother didn't tell them that I had these, right?
I'm really hoping these are a real thing and not just a torture device your parents put on you.
Not at all,
that they
bro.
made by themselves.
This doctor gave them to us, dude. This dude was a bona fide.
Looks like Google.
This dude was a bona fide doctor. So we went there. I got the electric pants on, dude.
Wait, what should I Google?
I'm getting my rest. Probably, buzzer underwear for urinators. I would Google buzzer underwear for urinators. So then, but they didn't tell my grandfather, right? So they had a small house, bro, a little bitty house. So my fucking is just like he wakes up middle of the night, dude. I'm fucking.
You're on fire.
I'm not on fire, but I'm buzzing hard, bro.
because I'd had apple juice, man, and I pissed big on apple juice, dude. I f***ing spray out on the AJ. So I'm in there just buzzing, dude. And I didn't know.
God.
And he came in.
They
He
still
didn't.
got him?
Yeah.
Get me a pen.
Would you rather be blind or dickless, dude? These days, probably dickless, I think. I had a blind kid in my neighborhood when I was growing up, and actually, no, this dude was deaf, actually. And they beat him up for doing bad magic because he was always doing all of this, and people thought he was doing magic with no tricks, and they beat him. So
I actually used to do it. I had a deal where we used to. I remember selling. I got caught up with this outfit where we were tattooing guinea pigs and selling them after Green Day concerts, man.
Hold
selling
on.
them outside of concerts.
You would shave them and then tattoo them?
Yeah, these dudes
What
would
would you
shave them and
tattoo
tattoo
'em
them.
on?
$25. They would sell them, and because people was coming out of there on ecstasies, and they wanted
Ecstasies.
warm animal. $30, $25. You get an animal and a
Oh,
bag. and
warm
they-
animal. What?
Genius for
Yeah.
eating, petting,
Yeah, for
squeezing,
friendship.
sleeping.
2 a.m. You're out of raving. You've been out raving.
For friendship. People buy pigs for friendship.
Yeah, well, what do you think most people buy them
I
for?
thought maybe put up their asses or something on
No, not a
ecstasy.
guinea pig.
Maybe.
Nobody's putting a guinea pig up their ass.
Yeah,
not
you
in
pervert.
America.
You pervert.
For friendship? Who the like, goddamn, I'm like, is that a guinea pig tattoo with Green Day on it? I'll take 2, man.
It's kind of genius because what you just said is that when you're done raving, you might want a warm animal. You want a warm animal.
Well, some people, if you don't have somebody and you get out of the rave and you're on the drugs and everybody's out
On the
there,
drugs.
you're not gonna. What are you gonna get? You gonna just lay there by yourself with your hands?
Yes! I ain't buying 2 tattooed guinea pigs who are
No.
shaved.
What, you gonna brush?
You probably have like a Gatorade or something. Don't do all of that. You gotta have somebody there with you.
You're gonna drag your fingertips across the palms of your hands?
Yeah, like this over and over
Now,
again.
don't be weird.
When you could have a tattooed warm animal in your hands?
Hey, don't be weird by tattoo warm animal shaved.
They tattoo on the guinea pig.
Just something basic, like a
Nolans?
star or like they had like this Marilyn Manson type of hat. They used to put like a top hat kind of thing, or just something
Some
that was,
weird
they had 3 or
shit,
4
bro.
things, almost like those Christmas cookie maker things.
Yeah.
Almost something like that, like basic.
Poor little guinea pig must have been traumatized because that's needles on its skin. And he's like, I don't want to be jumped into your biker gang.
Dude, if you believe that guinea pigs have that much intuition and feeling, I mean, the bottom. At the lunch table, we get some kids who were mentals, or a couple of them might have been mentals, and a couple kids that were well, and we get there and sit them to make them drink milk and then tell jokes and do stuff until one of them just blew milk out of their face, And if you get some straight up, just a couple mentals, boy, some straight up sawed off humans, you get them to straight up blow leche out their dome, dude. That's America right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I knew I was like, I got some kind of a gift here. I almost blew the throat out of this one boy. Almost blew the throat out of this one boy named Tot. T-O-T was his name. Kind of a bad name too to be mentally challenged, but also easy for him to spell. And I'm not joking. That's what his father said. And easy for him to spell backward and forward. Same name, Tot. So that's true, man.
Was this guy's his name was Todd?
Why are you so laughing at him?
It's just a funny sounding name. That's all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was
so
pretty funny, I guess. Tot.
Yeah, well, let's
Tot.
talk about Tot.
Sometimes he would just say T-O-T was his name, but I knew it was Tot.
Yeah.
He would try to spell it out, and
So to a gay man would be fun because there's a feminine energy to him that would be like almost like having a girlfriend.
Oh, it's the largest Pomeranian you can have if you're a woman. Is a gay husband. Yeah.
Yes.
But here was the thing, though. I never even got to this, dude. Was that so? My sister, one time, we lived together for a while, right? And this is probably about 8 years ago. They had this other dancer that worked with her came over to our place, right? Stole our vacuum, right? She was on these Klonopins and everything, and then she got all fucking, warm under the skin one night on them pills and fucking stole our vacuum,
Dude, as you do.
I wasn't there when she stole it, but literally I could picture her probably trying to put it in her purse, like the stick end in the purse and the fucking huge vacuum hanging out, right?
Oh.
Dude, fast forward year and a half, right? I'm not even living with my sister anymore. I'm in New Orleans for a bachelorette party or somewhere, or Baton Rouge somewhere, or a bachelor party. They got a big money deal, right? They wheel in one of those cakes where the women pop out, like the fake cake, and they pop out and they dance, right? You know, one of the chicks that pops out is the bitch that stole my vacuum, bro, right? So everybody else, I have no idea. I totally forgot about this.
You bitch.
Oh, everybody else is tipping these bitches and you know, shaking both of their ass cheeks at the same time, you know, with each hand, you know, like they're, you know, like doing it really fast.
Vote for me.
Yeah, like vote for me with both hands.
Yeah, vote for me.
And here I am in the background, and all I can think is that bitch stole the vacuum, dude. Bro, I had half of a nerve to just the whole time just make vacuum sounds in the back, just like. I was so pissed, bro.
What'd she do when she saw you?
Huh?
What did she do when she?
She acted like she didn't know. And that's the thing I don't like about people, I guess, that steal vacuums is when they see you, they act like you don't remember. Like, I'm not going to remember you stole a vacuum from. I wasn't on Klonopins. I wasn't on Somas, you know?
How do you get away with a vacuum? Like, doesn't someone, if I was in an apartment building and I saw someone who was on, like, Klonopins with a vacuum just running down the stairs... Bless you.
Well, it's half of America. It's half of the neighborhood around here probably.
What can they give you a vacuum? I mean, if you came over my house with a vacuum, what can I give you? The small 15?
I was going to say at least 30.
That's like I don't know. What if it goes kaput after they go down the block? I'm no vacuum mechanic, but I know there's a little fuck in there. And when you hit something up, the belt breaks. Like I used to have a Kirby vacuum, and they come with a package as a belt. I couldn't do it. Whenever the vacuum broke, my mom had to take it off and put the vacuum on.
Yeah.
And you got to be like a nation. You got to unplug it, or the vacuum will suck your fingers in. so next thing you know,
what kind
of great vacuum?
Kind of Cuban can't fix a vacuum? That's what I want.
My mom.
Undeniably cute. Bobby's
So
probably. Bobby, it's crazy. Even Bobby versus a black baby, I'd pick Bobby. And that's wild. You don't usually black baby wins.
Black babies
hands
are the
down.
cutest.
You know what I'm saying? Paper rocks black baby. Black baby wins every time, dude. But you do paper Bobby black baby, dude. Bobby beats black baby sometimes, man. One time, the only game I ever went to for the Lakers was when Kobe scored 81 points. It's the only game I've ever been to in my whole life. And I shared like a bowl of peanuts in like some fancy club lounge. It was for players only, I think. And then I got a picture of Chris next to Chris Rock by the bathroom. And he was not happy about it. And I made his wife take it. Asked his wife to take it. Didn't make her do anything. This isn't a Me Too. Who did we have? We had this dude named Brian Brian Purvis, the first wigger ever, you know, and they don't have him anymore. They have a couple left, I think, outside of maybe Cincinnati. Yeah. But he was like the first white kid that ever wanted to be black, and they'd never seen it before. And they put him in mentally handicapped classes because they thought he was mentally challenged.
Is that what they used to do with wiggers?
Yeah. Well, they didn't know. They'd never seen it before. So they put him in there.
Wow.
So they had people that were really, you know, people that were just, you know, didn't know what was going on. Deaf people, blind people that were, you know, freebase victims, all kind of stuff like that. And then you just had Brian's Purvis just dribbling an invisible basketball, just wearing a fucking Charlotte Hornets pullover, starter pullover, Apex, and just blowing menthols and at people. And they're like, oh man, we don't know what he has, you know.
Is Brian still in an institution or is he out?
No, he's out. Somebody sent me a picture of him the other day. I think he's in prison somewhere, he's in jail or in or out of jail. But I wish him well. He's a nice kid. He still looks the same, had nice eyes. I remember that he had pretty eyes for a young fella that had a rare disease, you know.
Yeah.
But he was one of the wildest locally, you know, because people didn't know what was going on. They're like, oh, we don't know, you know. Science doesn't know. And he was just, you know, nothing was wrong. He was just, you know, he bought Shaquille O'Neal's rap album and he just watched Space Jam all the time. You know? And he listened to Boys to Men. He was just wig it up.
Rodentia,
Once you popped up into like rabbits, I was out. When you know. Oh my God, bro.
You okay, buddy?
What happened? Was that a hate crime? Are we gay?
I feel like I'm falling in love, and I wanted to know how tall you were because I feel like I tower over you in these stilettos.
Okay, you can call them stilettos if you want. I call them working heels. I am a healthy 6'1".
Oh, nice.
Recently been tested, totally chill on the up and up.
Oh, well done.
Grew up in Covington, Louisiana, and our town's famous. Lee Harvey Oswald went to our middle school. Pistol Pete Maravich lived and died in our town.
Really?
Two good shooters. That's the joke that I use off of that.
Yo, Vaughn!
Hey, John.
Right.
How are you?
Come sit down.
You bet, huh?
Good to see you. Oh,
Let's bang with our words, huh?
all right.
So
Do a little bit of. He was so old that.
yeah, he was so like the kids at school be like, my dad can beat up your dad, and I'd be like, your dad has more organs than my dad. But my dad used to bang your grandmother, and it was true because there was a girl in my elementary school class who my dad used to hook up with her grandmother in the early 30s. Motel, first of all, which put you out of my dating class. I like a motel, you know what I'm saying? I like thin windows, you know what I'm talking about? I like it when a truck goes by, you fucking what type of truck it was just from the fucking Morse code of that window rattle. You know, you know, I like that thing. I like a couple of flies in the room, you know? I feel like when you come in, you already have roommates. You just don't know where they are. You know what I'm saying? I like that just dirty shithole. This farm in the summer times outside in Natchez, Mississippi. And they had, and this dude, Don Blankenstein, was the pool guy every year, right? And he'd come out there, and I'd keep an eye on him because the dude weighed probably 700 or 800 pounds, bro. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? He broke the gate every time he come in. He was
the lifeguard?
He was, you know.
How can you be a lifeguard, 800 pounds?
Bro, he gets in the pool, trust me, nobody's drowning, bro. All the water's out, and the kid who's sick is laying right there at his feet.
He was the boss at the pool.
No, he was the guy who came to put the cleaner in the pool. And so, but he'd open the gate, bro, and every time he'd walk through it and bring both sides of the gate down. Like he was just he was going to die soon, you know, when you saw him. You know, so you treated him well. And that's one thing I like sometimes about seeing huge people. It reminds you how to treat other people. Because you're like, oh, this person isn't going to be alive very long, so you would be extra nice to him. And so, but then Don, one summer, I'm out there laying by the pool, and this skinny guy comes in. You know, he could have fit through the gate with 90 of his, you know, quintuplets or whatever. And he comes through the gate, and I'm like, who? And he keeps talking to me. And I'm thinking the guy's kind of a, you know, peppermint hunter, bruh. You know what I'm saying? A little tender. And it turns out it's Don Blankenstein. He got the stomach thing, and he lost all the weight. And he was a different person, though. He wasn't the same. I don't know. It wasn't the same, and our relationship was never the same as when he lost the weight. Well, tall too. It's not fun trying to tall girl, really. Honestly.
Oh no, really?
I mean, here's the thing. I come in. I'm that Polish bad boy. I roll in at 6 feet. You know, I'm that Polish Nicaraguan. I'm that. You know, I roll in at that. You know, just that basic height, and so, and it's hard. It's definitely you got to really. You have to have a little bit more of a plan. You got to really want to. A bad idea.
The Theo strain.
That strain, boy.
The strain,
you know?
dog.
Makes you it'll cure Down syndrome, bro. I beat it.
How you beat it?
Well, there's a lot of rumors in my town that I beat Down syndrome.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's inspiring, man.
That's how I felt when I heard them, because I didn't start them. And that's one of the things that's beautiful about sometimes being in a small town is, you know, it doesn't take long for you to hear shit yourself. The best joke I ever heard, some guy said, I don't even know who said it. He said, when I masturbate these days, it looks like two white guys getting out of a submarine.
Hunt for the Red October.
And I thought that was the best joke ever. Here's one of my favorite jokes. What's the last thing you want to hear when you're giving a blow to Willie Nelson?
What?
I'm not Willie Nelson.
That's a good
I
one.
don't know who told me that. But God, that's a good joke, man. I hate it.
Well, you think?
I mean, there's just more. I mean, not in like a. If I know, you know. But if I just see you, dude, walking by, yeah, dude.
More than you?
Oh, dude. I'm like, who's this? Bro, you look like a mechanic from Nordstrom Rack, dude. That's the problem, dude. You're like, damn, I didn't know Nordstrom Rack did tires, you know? This dude looks like a fuck. Yeah.
Hooking up with one of these guys, and I'm like, you idiot. You get to hook up with me right now? I don't do this all the time. I don't like hook up.
Yeah.
And I just was, but I was feeling so great that night. And it was such a fun night that I was like, I deserve this. I deserve to get fit tonight. And so
I'm taking him behind the bowling alley tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Break out the buckets of gravel in the distance. Let's you know? Let's party, dude. You know? Fire
Get your
away.
rocks ready.
Fire away. We have a lot of Asians, man. We had there was a rumor of an Asian when I was first.
What was his name?
I'm not sure.
What was the rumor?
The rumor was, and I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. They had a rumor that there was an Asian kid, right? And this is after, because we got a Latino kid. We got a Latino kid.
Yeah.
Named,
Not a family, just one kid.
Congratulations.
One guy. Nicholas was his name, and he had a little bit of light facial hair.
Nicholas,
Everybody was fired up about that. Fired. There was a lot of rumors and stuff going around about that.
Yeah.
Because people had never seen that on children. You know, it was like.
Wait, be light hair on the face?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
People were like, he's trying to grow a sideburn on his chin.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah. Well, cool, Theo.
You wearing shampoo?
No, I'm wearing Gucci Flora.
Oh, whoa, a showboater, huh? I was just hoping you had a little bit of Garnier Fructus in there. Right? I get up in that. 30-pound bag of hamster bone, that's because you have to. There's not as much meat. There's very little bone in a hamster, bro. Them hamps got a hamp probably has like an eighth of an ounce in its chest plate, bro. You can't even make a wish on their bones. You know, there's nothing in there.
Where do you get all those hamsters from?
Well, they breed them in our town. I used to work for this group. They used to sell tattooed hamsters and guinea pigs after.
They tattoo them?
Yeah, they used to brand them with concerts and raves. They would say it's tattooed just to make people not be as sad about it. But it was a brand, bro.
Of what?
Well, like Heat and Ink, bro.
For what? Like, what did it say?
311, Green Day, anything like of different bands that were coming to town. Toadies. Swear to God, bro. Toadies, Acid Bath. Who else? Raves. Whatever, bro. We used to truck these hamps into the city and vend them, bro. We did, man. Because there wasn't much work in our town, dude. You know, you had to get what you could get, and they had a man that bred hamsters, and then they had to do the tattoos, and they met up, and that was a merger. That's big business, you know. And they started
a merger.
They started doing it.
Man, I got me some 300 mouse in my house and shit. Like I was like, you know what, man? I'm a pretty good tattoo artist.
That's Louisiana.
And that's it. A merger is formed.
This one girl I knew, there was so much squirting sometimes. Like I would check to see if she was okay. It was almost biblical, you know, a couple of chapters of it. It was just like, this is, you know, I felt bad. Like the cat would come around because he thought I'd cut the faucet on. Just kind of like. The first Asian I ever saw, I saw some drawings, right? I remember definitely seeing a lot of drawings when we were kids of Asians because they're easy to draw. So a lot of kids would draw Asians, right? After that, true story, the next Asian I ever saw, the closest real Asian, was that picture in the Guinness Book of World Records when there was an Asian, 17 Asian kids on a bicycle. Remember that one, the famous picture?
Yeah. That's it?
No, that was just the first. I was like, holy shit, look what they can do, you know? And it made me but it made us do cool stuff on our bike and see what we could do. And then there was a rumor when I was about 14 that there was an Asian boy. There was a rumor there was an Asian boy about 17 miles away from us. And me and two of my buddies, one of them who had a bad neck, his fella had a pretty bad, you know, that fifth appendage, the neck. People don't think about it. You got to strengthen it. And his was real lean, barely hold his head up. He almost had to walk around like this and also hold his head up with one of his arms. But he and I and another kid got together and decided we want to go see this Asian, you know, this rumored Asian.
Right. Yeah.
So we saved up money. We cut grass for about 6 weeks and saved up money to get a taxi.
Just to see this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went to Slidell, Louisiana to go visit him. And
well, you just went to his house?
No, it was the address that we got.
Oh, how'd you get this address?
Dude, you can get information.
Okay. Okay.
And this is back before the internet, too. So this is when you had to ask around.
Yeah.
And then guess a little. Mm-hmm. And we went to see him and tried to go see him, but it was just a Chinese food restaurant.
Oh, he's a Chinese guy.
It wasn't a real Chinese person. It was just, I think, some kind of white people in hats. And it was I don't know, it might have been a Mexican Jewish guy running it.
Oh.
Girl in our town, we locked this big girl one time. We ate some acid, and we locked this big girl into a room at this party, and we kept going in there with
warm water. Fucking pouring it on. I feel bad. I feel horrible, dude. I didn't look. We was kids and we were on acid, dude. And then, bro,
you can't tell me this story when I'm straight. You gotta tell me on mushrooms. You locked the girl.
I just remember.
How old were you?
I just remembered
How old were
it.
you?
Probably 16.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, but here's the thing. Let's say I was 14. That way it makes it sound not as bad, bro. But look, she ate. No, she ate acid with us, bro. She ate acid with us, dude. And what happened was, and we kept going in the room with like these pots of warm. I don't know why we had the pots of warm water because I think we just were up, dude. And we would like pour a little on her, but not like torture. She wasn't in a cage or nothing. She was just, free range in this room, right? But I think she was scared to come out. And then one time we went in, bro. We heard this loud sound and we went in. And
I wonder why.
She had ran against one of the walls so hard, bro. Had moved the entire wall in this house, dude. Huge girl, about 240 pounds. Beautiful girl, too. The most beautiful, biggest girl that I've ever known.
Oh my God.
Beautiful girl, beautiful hair, beautiful face, large and beautiful. But she got lifted, bro. I think my first love, I was in love with my buddy's mom, actually, dude. And I used to sneak over into their hamper. This is kind of crazy, and huff them cups, bro. She had this big Brazilian. I'd hide in there and fuck them cups, daddy. And just smell that thing as hard as I could, man, until my freaking lungs almost blew out.
Very awkward and being like, no boy will ever like me or see me as someone that they would want to date.
I could
And
see
then
you as that long breadstick. I'd want to get at it.
Thank
you. Know?
you.
Want to
Oh my-
carb up on that puss, dude. Come on. You don't think that people would want to? With two, not rats. It's like the Limousine of rats. Ferret.
Oh.
And I had to share a room one night with two of those.
No. Wait, has he said that before?
I haven't heard it.
Oh, I'll tell you this story, dude.
Wait, have you said limousine of rat before? That is so
No, why? Ferrets urinate
You're
on each
so
other's
funny.
backs.
That's you are truly.
No, you are my.
You know that
essay. I'm just gonna say essay. I'm not gonna say.
you
scared
are
animal.
so funny, and I can't let the limousine of rats, a ferret, go.
If
That
that's
is-
the funniest thing we've said on this episode, then we are not doing well.
What,
I'll
are you
say that.
kidding me?
You're doing great. I think you look great.
No, I think that is the funniest thing, and I'm fine saying that's the funniest thing I've ever been a part of ever.
Oh,
That is so funny.
Leave out of there, dude. You feel like damn, just John Wayne Gacy or whatever. Who's the John Wayne? Sorry. Yeah, Gacy's a serial killer. But you feel like, like you have in your fingertips, you have the magic.
Yeah.
Because you got a woman off, you didn't get anything, you didn't bust, so you got all this chi built up, so you're rolling around town just with a magic touch, you got that King Midas, you got that clitoral King Midas you're running around. If you were sent back to the Roman Empire with a fully charged iPhone, do you think you could take over the world, dude? No, dude, I think they would probably beat you up, they would say you're gay, and they would beat you. If you want to be honest, and no offense if anybody's gay, I might be gay. Unfortunately, almost knocked this young lady up that was from South Dakota. And she lived on a reservation, yeah.
Oh.
And she threatened to have the baby.
Oh, damn. How old were you?
37 this year. It was this year. And she wouldn't even be cool. She threatened to have the baby, dude. And I just met her at a motel. Yeah. And she threatened to have a baby, man.
Hello and welcome to Trigonometry. I'm Francis Foster.
I'm Konstantin Kisin.
And this is a show for you if you want honest conversations with fascinating people.
Our brilliant guest today is already taking the piss out of us. It's the amazing American comedian Theo Von. Welcome to Trigonometry.
You guys have, we call it autism. I don't know what you guys call it, bro, but we got.
So my trick is this. I'll go outside at night, right? I'll stand with the yard behind me. Dude, raccoons start coming out. They see it. And then I go like that, and there'll be 2 or 3 raccoons there. A brother took a bite out of a Vietnamese guy once, dude. Took a huge bite out of his arm, bro. Meat and everything, bro. Ripped it right out. Jesus. The Vietnamese guy was threatening him with all this karate shit and everything, and his brother just grabbed him and fucking bit right into him, dude. Bit right into him.
If you think about it, that's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
That stops karate all the time.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what type of karate you got, they ain't got no defense for the bite. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got. Well, what if it goes to bite you?
Oh my god.
Hold on, I gotta call the main Jap in Okinawa and get these.
Hold on, let me put my Komodo on, dude. And they bite your ass, dude. I actually just got fat recently, like this past year.
I'm so sorry, dude. You're killing
And that
me.
doesn't mean I'm serious, man. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody that's bigger or not. You know, I might be gay when I get older.
Yeah.
So you never know. To me, you never know what life has kind of in store for you, you know, or what's around the next turn. I don't put anything out of it. That's why when people are say like, you know, they have issues with gays or they have issues with fats or whatever, like that could be you next week. And that could be, that's why I don't put anything out.
But I did it anyway, but the whole time.
Why? You'd seen your body before.
They've never seen my body, though.
Right, but what are you laughing at?
Because they're laughing at my body.
Oh, okay.
They're laughing so hard, it makes me want to laugh.
I thought you've been waiting your whole life to see your body, and this is when you decided to do it.
No, that's not it. I had seen my body. Do I have mirrors?
Yeah, but you could also not see your body if you want. Like, I'll go sometimes, you know, I remember one time I went like 8 months without seeing my legs.
And we locked this big girl one time. We ate some acid, and we locked this big girl into a room at this party. And we kept going in there with fucking pots of warm water and pouring it on her. I feel bad. I feel horrible, dude. I didn't look. We was kids, and we were on acid, dude. And then, bro,
you can't tell me this story when I'm straight. You gotta tell me on mushrooms. You locked the girl.
I just remembered.
How old were you?
I just remembered.
How old were you?
Probably 16.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, but here's the thing. Let's say I was 14. That way it makes it sound not as bad, bro. But look, she ate. No, she ate acid with us, bro. She ate acid with us, dude. And what happened was, and we kept going in the room with like these pots of warm. I don't know why we had the pots of warm water because I think we just were f***ed up, dude. And we would like pour a little on her, but not like torture. She wasn't in a cage or nothing. She was just, you know, free range in this room, right? But I think she was scared to come out. And then one time we went in, bro. We heard this loud sound, and we went in. And
I wonder why.
She had ran against one of the walls so hard, bro. Had moved the entire wall in this house, dude. Huge girl, about 240 pounds. Beautiful girl too. The most beautiful, biggest girl that I've ever known.
Oh my god!
Beautiful girl, beautiful hair, beautiful face, large and beautiful. But she fucking got lifted, bro.
I remember one time I got stuck in a tunnel. My car broke down in a tunnel in Pittsburgh, and I had to defecate extremely, and that's French actually for shit.
Yeah.
And I had to defecate. And so I got in my back seat of my car, and the only, like, I didn't have any choice. This was like, you know, it was like something had gotten into my body, like a pink eye had gotten into my stomach.
Whoa.
And all the shit in my body was coming out of my body.
You had pink eye
like,
in your stomach?
Yeah, it was like, hey, we need all this shit out of here.
I had gingivitis once in my stomach.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Your mouth?
And I got diarrhea from that too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how I got down there.
And I had to defecate into a frisbee. I had an upside down frisbee was all I had.
Really? Be real.
Yeah.
Yeah?
What? And so I'm in this tunnel. There were cars whizzing by. Here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Extremely hard to poop when cars are going by at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour and furious too.
Yeah.
Furious. Like, and also white people. Like, it was Pittsburgh, so it's furious white people driving by. I can, if other people, some certain ethnicities, I can shit easier when they're driving by, honestly. You know, like if a couple of brothers are rolling by blasting some good music, I can blow ass all day into a frisbee, right?
Yeah.
No problem. I'm part of it. You know, everybody's, you know, everybody seems like it's more laid back.
Yeah.
But an angry white dudes, you know, rolling by, you know, 6, 7,
Well, they
8
would probably
a.m.
call somebody too, huh?
Oh, they weren't calling anybody. I mean, the only free finger they had, they were waving it out the window at me. So they weren't using it to dial the phone.
So you shit on a frisbee.
I had a shit in the open. Now the you know,
not the top part, but the bottom part.
A frisbee is basically a cup. Basically, the sides.
A plate. It's a plate.
A plate. Well, a plate is just a cup. That's
Wait,
way
no.
spaced out.
Let me get this straight. Hang on. Are you
A plate is
still
just a
driving?
wide cup.
No.
Or you pulled over?
Oh, I pulled over the car. I think honestly I'd run
Why
out of
couldn't you
gas.
just shit on the ground? Why did you have to like
I was
put
in
a
a
plate
tunnel.
underneath?
That's why if you're really old, I feel like you should almost, I don't want to say like bathe in milk, but you want to get the suppositories or something. You want to
Yeah.
just hide calcium in your ass or whatever you got to do to bone up. You know, to get marrow heavy. I'm serious.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You look older than that, actually, dude. A little bit. No offense. Yeah.
Because of the beanie?
Maybe that's it.
Serious?
Yeah. Well, you seem like a nice guy, though.
Virgin power is so strong, bro.
Is
I saw
it?
a
Wild.
virgin. Oh, dude.
That's crazy.
Oh, somebody parked a Volkswagen Rabbit on this guy's leg one time outside of our schoolhouse, and I saw a virgin lift it right off his leg.
Wild.
Yo, and this was in. Who knows when it was?
Every scene is from like the movie Powder. Every scene, it's amazing.
What are you talking about?
Every
dude?
scene of
You
your
ever heard
life. is
stories like
the movie.
that?
I've never seen a virgin pick up a car.
A buddy of mine had a bed, and I was sleeping under his bed for $150 a month.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes, even in his bed, sometimes when he would be out of town or when he would leave for work, I'd climb up into his bed, dude. And I've never been heavily homosexual, but I will say this: that there's nothing really gayer than getting into a man's warmth after he's already left the room, you know, and climbing up into his bed. A man you don't even really know that much, but still catching that hit off of his temperature, you know.
That's funny.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
You go over to somebody's house, dude, who you don't know that much. When they leave the room and get out of their bed, you get into their bed.
You never told him that, though.
Make a man out of you fast, dude, or it won't. But you find out who's who pretty quick when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I was doing stuff like that.